Is that Flinter? On New England? What's going on? I actually, I've gotten a little bit tired of hunting in early access on an old save file because I keep running into things I've already shot. And New England won't have that effect because it's a separate population file. Like when I would have played on early access, New England didn't exist yet, so I didn't have a pop file ready to go on this save. So anyway, my idea is, at least this will all be fresh stuff as opposed to, you know, running into a Diamond Wolf and Melanistic Plains Bison that we had already shot over on Yukon on Friday. So this should be a little bit better. I thought you hated this map. It's not my favorite. It may actually be my least favorite. Mississippi and New England are kind of in the same boat there, but at least it should be fresh. Well, New England yesterday, have you unlocked all the outposts yet? I know that do be a big thing getting rid of that fog. Go make Surdo. Do it. Graphics are looking great. You know, the one thing I noticed on this map is this kind of like pixelated thing that happens. I think it's because there's... Hello? There's a lot of, like, sun rays coming through the fog, and certain lighting effects seem to do that. New England bad, I won't lie. It's, like I said, not my favorite, but I wanted something that would be a little bit different. Because it feels weird, like, you know you have a limited supply of trophies on your map, and going out and then running into ones you've already seen is a little less interesting. I've got a video coming out, it's going to be early tomorrow morning. I basically thought, you know what, a lot of people are installing the update, you know, 7 a.m., 8 a.m., waiting on the installation to complete, and I thought maybe I'd drop a video during that to, you know, help pass the time. I found a thing that I've already shot in said video, and I was just like, I can't do that for an entire stream. I will not be able to have any fun, so here we are on the one map where that won't happen. What's up, Pizza? Patty's here from Germany. Appreciate you stopping in, man. Sup, Sebby? Got a diamond red deer last night after your farming sim stream. Got super excited because it was the first red deer that I killed on my Teal roll map. Nice. Especially since all the drink times have gotten, like, synced up across maps, so, you know, red deer drinks 6 to 10 on every map. Tea's gotten so good for them. I don't know if I've killed a diamond since then necessarily, but I don't go to Tea that much. I'm great still trying to work on that name. I spent the whole school thinking about it. I might be dumb. That name? Am I missing something?
First channel.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. It's like most important decision. Alright, it's 7 a.m., so I think we're going to mess around with the field for a little while. We'll hit whitetail drink time in about 15 minutes and start running the creeks. What scope to use in Way the Hunter? The Loophole? It's like 3 to 18 or something. Shot my first diamond and... Oh, only to know that I hit it wrong? It happens. It's so easy to do. In fact, actually, the first should have been diamond I ever shot was a level 5 moose that I completely ruined with a bow because I didn't know any better. I was talking to Mel about that possibility, Soup, especially, you know, on a map like New England, because it's all completely separate from what I would have on my live save file. And typically, since Mississippi came out, I think, you can't transfer saves from the beta back to live. So, like, our Mississippi stuff, we were able to keep, but Reb and Thule, handgun update, all that kind of stuff after Mississippi came out, those things just kind of disappear into the wind when the update comes. And I thought, like, if I kill a Great One Moose, would I effectively delete any progress I made between, what, the release of New England and now to keep the Great One Moose, if I even could? I kind of might. That grind's been rough. A lot goes into a name. I changed my latest page 4 times before settling on Bottomland trail cams. It does, like, you want it to be catchy, and you want it to be memorable and short and sweet and, like, easy to spell. Like, all of these things matter, and you don't think of it until all of a sudden you care about people trying to find your channel name in search results. What's up, Danny? Thank you for the 31 months. Welcome back. I hear the Dukes. I did bring one non-hunter power pack weapon today, and if there was anything but that one green wing teal hen, would have used it. I have the 22 AR, and I put like the new blue paint on it. I kind of like it, but the thing is you can't see it that well in my hands, so maybe if we shoot something it'll be visible. Oh no, botched a max weight max go raccoon dog last night. Bolted as I shot. That's a huge sad. Do you have a diamond one yet? Because I'll tell you what, I most certainly do not. Would you say the new 338 is a little disappointing? That's probably how I would describe it. See, what sucks is, again, I've got a video coming out tomorrow morning where I'm using all the guns on, I'll just tell you, on Verhunga. And in that setting, they're a blast. Like, they're really fun to hunt with. They're more than capable on any big game you're shooting. But the problem is, A, they're not necessarily better than things that already exist. They're as good as, I would say, but they're not better, which is kind of what we've come to expect with weapon packs. First, it was the 30-06, right? That was like the first major upgrade as a 4-8 weapon compared to what we had in, like, say, the 270. Then came the M1. I think I'm getting that in the right order. That's the new grinding weapon. Then there's the 308 AR. That's the new grinding weapon. So, like, the pattern... I need to get out of here. This is terrible for a stream to run through a cornfield. The pattern has been new weapons come out, they replace old weapons, they're better for some reason. I don't know that the 338 is better, but it is really good. Like, if you're not grinding, it's more than capable. But the game itself has kind of moved towards grinding in a way. They've really embraced great ones. You look at the loading screen here on New England, one of the loading screens is a Great One Whitetail. Like, for many reasons, how well these weapons do in a grind is important for EW, and unfortunately they just aren't up there with past weapons. I do like the distance thing. These guys are a little far, but I like that, like, especially on ducks and stuff, it's giving you that estimate and you can know to change your zeroing. New England Mountains needs doves. I mean, we have the bobwhite quail. I don't know how well, like, how much smaller is a dove than a quail? Is it a lot? When's the weapon pack coming out? Tomorrow. Great Ones suck, changed my mind. The concept of Great Ones is fantastic. The way that you go about getting them could be better, is not the most hunting-like thing, and I don't think the design was ever meant for grinding, but it's become such a big part of the community. Like, I understand why EW hasn't, like, changed the way they work, because a lot of people love it, but unfortunately a lot of people quite dislike it as well. I wonder if you can do sound alerts on YouTube. It's probably possible. Just voice memos for all new updates. That'd be a good idea. Just record myself saying, like, it's coming out the 14th. I could just, like, pause for a drink break every time I gotta play that. From personal experience, quail are a bit shorter, but overall the same? Okay. So are quail a little bit oversized, would you say, like, in the game? Like, I'm thinking of a quail laying here dead. And it would be, I don't know, the size of, like, 3 or 4 of these maple leaves? I guess a dove is in that range. It's been a while since I've shot a dove, I'm not gonna lie. Next great one is a moose-sized turkey. That's like the April Fool's thing that Classic did. They had gigantic turkeys, I think for 2 years. What's up, Captain Murray? Tree stand's not working on Silver Ridge Peaks? Why is that? Like, what aspect of them's not working? I'm sure once they release the 338 and it isn't the optimal grinding weapon, they'll buff it because of the outcry. Heard it here first. I almost feel like it's a necessity. From their own perspective, you would think they would want it to be. That's one of the problems that developers face. When you're releasing new content, you want it to be desirable so people buy it, right? I imagine they will want to buff it. Hey, I don't have any legal weapons to kill this thing, so it better not be level 5. I told you, Soup, you should hear what she says about you. Behind closed doors. It's that you're behind closed doors. Just do a bunch of random voice messages, then Kyla can just reply for everything and you just play. I like it. Well, the good news is I think a 308 gets full quick kill on raccoons. Pin, please. Hang on. It's not a simple process, okay? Where is you? I did it. So mean to me, I know. I wish Call of the Wild did seasonal events like they do in Classic. Yeah, the one... I can only think of one legitimate reason for them to not do it. And it would be... if they're concerned that it would actually hurt Classic. Because... if I had to guess... Classic's numbers are probably at their peak during the Halloween season. And things like... you know, not Halloween, the Valentine's event, the Lunar New Year, Christmas, those probably increase playership a bit. I wonder if Call of the Wild doing seasonal events would cut into that. That may be why they don't do it, but still, like, it's all under the same umbrella, right? So you would think they'd want to? You want absolutely massive ptarmigans? Dude, can you... can you imagine classic slideshow version with those frames? Found the track and drink zone of a max weight piebald lynx last night. Tried resetting the time a few times. Any suggestions? You said you found the zone, right? How long have you stayed at the zone? Because animals are, at the moment, pretty notorious for showing up really late. What I would do if I were you is set it to like an hour before the zone ends and just kind of hang out there. We need more shotguns in Call of the Wild. We could use some variety. A 12 gauge semi-auto, especially our last two maps, Reventuli and New England, both have like a lot of bird species. I don't think a 12 gauge semi-auto exactly like breaks the balance or anything. We don't have just a 410, that wouldn't be bad, for like quail maybe and stuff. There's a bunch of potential options. I mean, you could go a ton of different directions, but those are two that I immediately think of. More bows. I like what Way the Hunter did with their recurve crossbow. That's quite unique. I guess we're just chasing raccoons with way overpowered guns till whitetail drink time, but that's fine. More camo? Hey, I'm all about that. I'm on the East Coast, same as you. What time will the weapon pack drop? They usually don't, like, give us a specific time. I think usually it's fairly early morning East Coast, like 6 or 7 a.m. I wouldn't quote me on that. Like, you know, if you wake up at 6 a.m. and the update hasn't dropped, don't jump in my Discord and yell at me, because usually that's when it's out. But like I said, they don't release a time, so that probably means there's some variability there. Hatchet, thank you so much for the super chat, by the way. Appreciate that. There's the actual thing to shoot. Hang on. That's gotta be blasted. That'll do. Anyway, responses always get lost in chat. I have a super rare raccoon dog, dark brown. Oh. Well, I'm sure you're not too upset then by the max weight one. What is that? A gray fox. It almost looked piebald. It's not. Rolled that one. Can I start a red deer grind with 25 drink zones? Absolutely. That's probably more than you would need. It's good to know the locations of a bunch of zones, but you can do a pretty effective grind with even like 10. I think they should bring more ammo types in. Yeah, that's one thing. The animal and weapon classes do kind of like push you towards using more weapons and making it a point, I guess, or giving reason for them to develop other weapons. But it also ends up being very restricting. So maybe different ammo types, like say you have like a, I don't know, a 223 that's loaded really hot, that might be better for deer and stuff, and one that's a lighter load that you could even take geese with. I'm trying to come up with an example on the fly. There's better ones, but I think that would be a way to give weapons even more utility, which I think is what they want to accomplish with the class system. Like we shoot birds like capercaillie and blackgrouse with the 308? Wait, do you really? Do you then eat them after that? Because I'm thinking there wouldn't be much left. Dear Slayer, thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate that, and the super sticker as well. Actually, I shouldn't say that about capercaillie because they're, what, 80% as big as a turkey, if not even more than that. And at least, I don't think you can do it anymore. But it used to be the case here that you could take them with a rifle in the fall. So, that's kind of ends up in the same area. I mean, like, if you use different grain on your 308, like 150 or 180. Yeah, exactly. That's... Whoa, why are we lagging like that? That's what I'm getting at, though. Hello, game. Updated my graphics drivers today just for you. Don't lag on me. When's the new lodge update? Like the free Leighton trophy cabin thing? That will be tomorrow. What are the classes for the new weapons? Alright, so the 338 is classes 7 to 9. The 7mm is classes 4 to 9. And then the 308 is 4 to 8. What's up, Ariel? The 308 should at least be able to take roe deer, though. Like, I don't disagree with you. It would be nice, because... How did I miss that? Oh, God. Oh, no. Nobody's watching this, right? Yikes. Anyway. Did anybody see that? I didn't see anything. Right. 308 roe deer. So, again, Classic allows you to do that. And I think if you had lighter loads for the 308, that would be perfectly reasonable. Like the IRL bunny hunt that I did? No. I hit one. You guys didn't see it good. Oh my god, what is that emote? I like that. I've never seen that before. Didn't see anything? Nothing at all. I wanted to shoot into the creek and see if bullets skipped. What's up, Joe? Broncos signed Mike McGlinchey. Was he a 49er? I know the name. 4 to 9 seems pretty good. Do you think that the new 7 to 9 competes with the 300? Yeah, they're very similar. If you watch the video that I did yesterday, I did my best to really compare the two. They perform almost exactly the same. The biggest thing is, and I don't have the 300 on me to show you the opposite, but watch the animation here when I work the bolt. Actually, let me put the Hyperion scope on because it's a little bit better when I do that. Okay, so watch. See that push to the left of the crosshairs where they kind of get angled up like towards the top left corner of the screen just a bit? The 300 doesn't do that, and I think in the case of trying to get 2 quick shots off in fairly rapid succession, that's going to be a problem. Now, you can work to overcome it. You can, with practice, get pretty decent at still getting back on target in time, but the 300 just doesn't have that problem, so it naturally is going to be a little bit more desirable, I think. Nothing special so far, Maximus. Definitely didn't just miss a rabbit like 4 times in a row. Oh, YouTube added some new emotes? Nice. Good for them. Not that they're, you know, needing to be even more like Twitch, but it is what it is. How'd you get the Surf Scouter mission done and over with? I want the recurve crossbow SAP. Are you talking about the one where you gotta shoot a Surf Scouter out of the air with a crossbow? Because that's not necessary to get the recurve crossbow. If you mean the 2-star mature or less one, I just went to the place they tell you to go for the mission. Hunting spring bear this year? We don't have a spring bear season here in PA. It's something I'd like to do someday, but I'd have to go to like Canada or Montana or somewhere. Hear me out, 4570 still better than what, the 7mm? The lack of zero range is really what hurts the 4570. Otherwise, I quite like it. Do you hunt in real life? I do. There are quite a number of hunting videos, IRL hunting videos, out there. Kyla, I was so confused what you were talking about. Now I understand. Anyway, I have on this channel and the Meat Hunters channel Like, but it's 4 years worth of hunting content. I'm guessing 40 or 50 videos you can check out if you want to see that stuff too. I do film all my real life hunts. I thought you were just tired of my stream, Kyla, and wanted me to quit. Want to bear hunt so bad, but I refuse to hunt with dogs? Yeah, I don't know, like... I don't love the way bears are hunted in general in PA. It's typically with drives, and like, a lot of drivers. I just don't feel like that's any more fair chase than just baiting at that point. Like, the bear has even less, almost, choice in the matter. You live in PA too? That is awesome, man. We have quite the representation in this community. I see a lot of real-life PA hunters. I'm an outfitter in South Africa, so if you ever keen on getting yourself some trophies easily arranged, hey, sounds good. TK's been hunting down there a decent amount, and he wants me to go down, but I don't know. It's one of those things where I'm just like, I should do it. Then again, that's a long flight, and the last... Actually, I was okay going to Denver, but... Like, the previous flight I had been on, I had, like, terrible vertigo, and it was a 90-minute flight. It was not good. So there's a good question. Do you think Euro Bison is the next great one? There's a lot of speculation out there, because of the new Bison multi-mount, that that's going to be the next one. And, you know, fair enough. It's very similar to what they did with Black Bear, and they got the multi-mount, as I recall, with the release of the Black Bear Great One. So... there's that difference. Here's my thing. If they wanted to kind of follow in, like, the moose's footsteps for being great ones, I kind of understand. Like, you've got the biggest species on Leighton, then the biggest species on Hirsch. But I just think, you know, fallow deer, roe deer, Roosevelt elk. Like, if they want to stick with the base game species, I'm just going to do Leighton and Hirschfelden. Even, I think you can make an argument for, like, red fox or coyote being maybe more interesting, because here's the problem, in my opinion. I think you can make a really good looking great one bison. Make the horns a little bit bigger, do some unique furs, that could work. But bison don't run fast. You can basically run up alongside a herd and just shoot every male out of it, rinse and repeat. I know grinding's already a thing, but I just don't feel like that one would be very good. It would just be a bunch of that. Surprise great one update tomorrow? I mean, you never know. They did with the bear. I think they just... Did they tell us there was a new great one at all? I think they did. It just didn't tell us what. I'd be inclined to say fallow would be the next great one. Come back. Especially because they could put fallow in more places, like in an Asia Minor type area. Persian fallow. See, I didn't know that. They got rid of your binocular line? Yeah, and added... I get why they did it. That text in the bottom left, place waypoint, zoom in and out, reset zoom, which actually, I kind of forgot that did that. It's good for new players, but once you know how to play the game, you don't need that. We really need an option to be able to turn that off, because it's almost more distracting than the line, which drives me nuts. If Euro Bison's the next great one, then EW would probably make another Euro map, which means Africa 2.0 wouldn't happen yet again. Yeah, maybe. When Whitetail Great Ones came out, Whitetail were only on Leighton Lakes. Then it was Red Deer, which were on, like, what, 4 maps. Then Black Bear, which were on 3 by then? So yeah, you might be right. I wouldn't hate it. Like, I sort of like Hirschfeld. I do. It's just, the layout of the map is almost New England-esque. It's just hard to hunt effectively, which is good for a lot of things, but I think, you know, there's a reason people love Virunga and Leighton and those types of maps. Blink. I thought we hit that, I guess not. Favorite map? I am a Leighton Lakes fan. There's a nostalgia factor there. There's the fact that, at least when the game came out and for a long time, it was the closest thing to where I hunt in real life. Now, technically, New England is the closest to where I hunt in real life. But the biggest thing for me with Layton is that it's got the most antlered species in the entire game. And I'm just a sucker for hunting antlered animals. I love everything from whitetail to elk to moose. And then you go, like, even with other maps, fallow deer, red deer, anything that's got antlers, I'm usually all about it. And Layton, to this day, despite being one of the original 2 maps, has, I think, tied for the most antler species. You know, Soup, I've been thinking about moving it. I really have. I like Medved. It's a good map. I had a bit of hope for nostalgia there, speaking of it, because I had killed the albino diamond moose there back in the day, long before trophy lodges, so I never got to put it in a lodge. And I'd always kind of wished I could do that. But I wouldn't mind going to Layton. I think it would be maybe not quite as easy to determine where they'd be, because obviously large bodies of water compared to small lakes. But there's a lot of moose there. It could work well. What's up, Cheeto? Coming at you from Florida. Nice. Riders in here as well. Just tuning in. Did I miss anything? Nothing to speak of yet. Just been running around trying to find stuff to kill on New England. Primarily we're here, by the way, because this is like the way that this early access thing worked. I could have moved my live save into it, but I felt like there was no point in doing that because it's not going to carry back over. But what that kind of did was it meant that we started running into things that we've already killed. For instance, on Friday's stream over on Yukon, we actually found a diamond gray wolf that we've killed in the past. So because New England was like new at the time of this save, that means this population's different, and at least just gives us a chance to see new stuff. Because it was getting a little bit boring seeing stuff that I've already killed. What's up, mistress? Did you make any beans today? I guarantee if they made a prehistoric map with mammals, it would do great. I still almost think it needs to be a separate game, but I wouldn't hate the idea if they just did it in Call of the Wild. What if they did like a completely separate lodge? You couldn't do the, like, what am I going to call them, modern animals with prehistoric ones? Do a separate lodge for that? Because then it almost is like a separate game in a way. I did not mean to do that with my mouse. You would hunt woolly mammoths? Was Snuffleupagus from Elmo a woolly mammoth? I had a dream when I was like 3 years old that our house was on fire and Snuffleupagus was there. That has stuck with me my entire life. Dominic, thank you for becoming a Shoesty. I really appreciate that. If you're not in the Discord, be sure to join that as well. Link up your YouTube and get the member role over there. And enjoy the emojis here in the YouTube chat. Shoost or shoosum. No, he was a Snuffleupagus? Listen. I didn't know that was a species. Are there female diamonds? The only species that can have female diamonds at the moment are Gemsbuck, Gray Fox, Scrub Hare, Eastern Cottontail Rabbit, European Hare, and I think I'm missing one. That might be it. There's a couple, basically. Good whitetail spot on New England? Whitetail and moose both are pretty prevalent, like, along these smaller creeks. Like, you can just run this entire thing east-west or west-east. You'll find a lot of them. Like, a lot of whitetail, a lot of moose. As you can see, they're, you know, they're right here. But it's tough because this is what happens, right? If you spook them, they run up into the forest and they're tougher to see. But as long as you get eyes on them as they go, you'd at least know if something big ran out. Mountain hare, yes, that's what I missed. All the hare species plus Eastern Cottontail, which threw me off. I've been a member for like a month and a half. Oh, really? Sometimes, YouTube is weird because it does say you've renewed your membership for me, but it also says it's 1 month, so I don't know, YouTube's confuzzled. Kill a female diamond Bathides. I was just thinking of that when we were on Quattro the other day for that inline diamond hunt. I saw a max weight Ronda Ibex, and I remembered there was a time, I think Ronda, Bathides, and maybe Grados? Or maybe it was the Southeasterns that could have female diamonds for some bizarre reason. Poor quail's not getting recognition. They don't make diamond as female anymore. It's the males now. Why? Wow. I missed what Ryder said. Would female diamond fox be considered a super rare? I don't think so. They make diamonds certainly less commonly than the males do, but there's a good number of them out there. What's up, Beast Within? What do you think is the best map for a whitetail grind? See, I don't know if I'm the best person to answer this question because, like, I haven't done a whitetail grind since, what was that, 2020? But, if it were me, like, let's say they come out with, here, I'll give you a real reason that I would definitely do it. Let's say they were like, you know what, your big male was so cool IRL, we're going to put that rack in the game. Obviously, I'm going to grind for it, right? And if I were going to set up a Great One grind where I'm really determined, I would do it on Ribbon to the Coast. Hey, thank you, DeWald. What level do road ibex have to be for diamond? You'll get, rarely they'll make it at level 4, primarily you need level 5s. Wish there was a moose multi-mount. There is one with the quail if you if you want that one. I don't know how I feel about that one. It ain't bad. It ain't great. How many more hours till the update? I would guess 15 or 16, something like that. Biggest buck, mine's 184. Mine was 180 and 6/8. Mine's a non-tip. I don't know what yours was. But if that, if yours is a 184 typical, that would be significantly larger. What graphics card? I just have a 3060. I need to get a better one. My hope is that if taxes are kind to me and I have any kind of tax return and don't end up having to pay in more, then I'll get a better graphics card here in like a month. Shot a fake 5 Rocky Mountain elk. They're the worst because they usually troll by like 40. It's just sadness. Feel like, we'll keep going. Got my moose great one in January. Nice. No, Ormy. Last I saw, and this is fairly regularly the case, last I saw they were still like assembling them or something, so we have no info, or no more info, on patch notes than you guys. Shoot something! Crikey. A great one rock. How's that? You meant typical, yours wasn't? Mine was, I mean, he's scored as a non-typical. He's entered into the books as a non-typical. If he didn't have the 4 stickers, he would have been a 162 typical 10, but he's got a sticker on both left and right G2 and G3. So you see, it's the one in my channel banner. You can see what it looks like there. Howard Brown Bear max 482 and Grizzly max 680 in the game. Same class as Black Bear. Yeah, it almost looks like they said, make all the bears class 7, right? I've always found that funny too. And it's not just the bear species. There's a number of things where if you look at the weights, it doesn't actually make a lot of sense. You like that, Reaper? What's that question there at gaming? Great One Rock's max weight, I believe, is 2 tons. Well, see, it used to be, but it's not just a boulder. It's a rock. So actually, it's 3 tons. I should have said 12 tons. I ruined that, but it's fine. Oof. 7 mil do be accurate, though. Saw a gator in Mississippi. I tackled it. People asked what I did, then I said it was a 9. I mean, if they only knew. Wait, really, Mr. Freeze? I saw on Pro Football Talk today that they thought it was likely he'd say it was going to be today. Why do you choose Raven? Wait, are you asking like why I chose Raven Thule Coast for the whitetail grind thing? I love the new reload animation. I do like the animation a lot, but like genuinely my favorite thing is the sounds associated with it. I thought I heard footsteps. It's not overly mechanical. I don't know what the best gun to compare it 2 would be. But I actually kind of think this is one place where maybe Classic lacks a bit. Some of its animations are maybe a little overly mechanical, and like sounds. And I do appreciate that these are like a little kind of, I don't know, just softer is the wrong word, but they're not so like, you know, slap the round into the chamber, close the bolt with all your force. It's like you would actually do. No, he's a jet. I must go weep. I'm so sorry for your loss, man. And all the losses that are going to come with Jordan Love. Nah, I think he's probably going to be fine. 7 mil sounds like a 22 Hornet reload? I don't... maybe... I don't see it that way. I think it sounds... I've got... It's GoPro audio, unfortunately, because I was dumb and didn't take the audio from my main camera. But I've got GoPro audio of me racking around after I killed my big male. It's in that video, and it sounds almost identical to what they have here. It's a 7mm mod 8, but very similar. You know they redid the sound on the Zarza 308? No. Did they? Has the 338 reload grown on you? Not really. It feels... Whoa. It feels like Call of Duty to me. Might get a chance to fire around and get to see it again. Little back, I think. He'll die. But yeah, this whole throwing the clip, or the magazine, and flipping it, that ain't my cup of tea. How many diamonds do you have? Since this is early access, it would... The counter would show all my diamonds up to New England. I think we're at like 981 or something though, right in that area. There'll be bright days in the future when the break actions will be called the classics. It's gonna be, I mean, I've done it already sometimes, but the further down the line we get, the more fun it can be to do like the old base game weapons as an entire loadout. Sucks the M1 fire audio got changed. How did I miss this stuff? Break action pack would be sick. It would be. I'm with you, but I think you'd get a lot of people like, these things are just garbage for grinding. Why would you even want one of these? It's just kind of the way it is. You like the magazine flip? I just feel like I'm playing, not that I ever play Call of Duty, I don't know, but when I think of like first-person shooter games, that's the type of reload animations they have. Maybe it's because I'm not coordinated enough to do it in real life. Hi. We need to use the 308. I feel like there's spots. Like, this is a good, like, this sort of valley here. You have good acoustics. The 308 has a really nice crack, but you only hear it in certain spots. If you're down, like, just, say, in a field, all the guns almost sound identical. What do you think the next map is? It's always the question, right? When I look at this, I just see this glaring, obvious spot of Australia they haven't done. That would be kind of my guess. I still really want Greenland, but, you know. What's up, Jake? Nice. Sounds like my 308 IRL. Well, there you go. I do believe, because I'm thinking back to... I don't even know what they called them. It wasn't Dev Diary back then. It was before they even called them that. And it was with Classic. But I remember them showing like how they got some of the audio, and it was by like firing real guns and stuff, so makes the sense. Did I miss anything? Don't think we've killed anything special. An Asian mountain map? As long as it's got Marco Polo sheep, sign me up. Be smart for them to do Africa again? Yeah, that's very true. You almost wonder, because I couldn't help but see the angler coming out when it did, almost as like a little bit of a, hey, look over here again, please, thing after Wade Hunter came out, because the angler felt very rushed to me. Maybe they planned on, I think it was August 23rd all along, but Wade Hunter released something like August 11th? So within 2 weeks, the angler was out. So I do wonder if they like, if they would do that. Like, oh, you guys think you might want to do an Africa map? We'll do one too. Way the 100 guns sound better? It depends. Like the Steyr SM12, the 300, the base game 300 is incredible. The Remington 700 long range, meh. Some are good, some are not so good. Which is, I guess, the case in Call of the Wild too. You don't think it's a coincidence? I don't really either, but then again, we're still waiting on console stuff, so they clearly weren't like, just console's almost ready, let's throw it out there. I still say they can't do Africa 2.0 because the tall grass messes up their engine. Tar let down all over again. I never actually considered those two as being related, but actually that makes sense. Like, the tall grass would be a very similar sort of graphical thing as long hair or fur. I tried. Need a Nordic map with upland birds and moose. Kinda like Hemmeldal in the Hunter Classic. Angler was super rushed. It's come a long way since though. A few more tweaks, it'll be a viable option, and console should be #1 priority. I think if they can just get it out on console, because isn't it meant to be cross-platform? That'll probably help it out a lot. I did see, I think we rated you, right, one day when you were doing the Angler? I do want to play it again. The legendary fish just made me sad. I feel like they could be so much better. Thoughts on Jalen Ramsey to the Dolphins? Other than the fact that he's still being paid as one of the highest paid cornerbacks in the league. Dolphins got him for nothing. I'm surprised other teams didn't, try to get him for maybe a little bit more. Screw the whole Africa 2.0 and just backfill like 4 to 5 new species. That maybe could work. The only thing is, when you get too many animals in an area, as was made very clear by Rancho, the game will lag pretty bad. Like, I don't know if you play on console, but if you have played on console, or if you have seen anybody play on console, when Rancho came out, some of those lakes that were just littered with whitetail and bighorn and bobcat and pheasant, it was running at like 10 FPS. It was so bad. So if you add more species to Verhunga, you may run into that same issue. What about my Lamar Jackson? I don't know what's going on with him, man. I genuinely don't have a clue what they're gonna do, what he's gonna do. It all seems so confusing to me. That's not a bad buck. Not a good angle. He might cooperate more if we just give him a minute. On console, it lags a lot. Like, still? Which console do you have? Ooh. 7 mil, though. I missed it. I missed the power of it for whitetail and stuff. We never carry it because, like, single shot. But now that that's no longer a thing, we have it in a bolt action. That's the thing, too. You can go for that shot. And if you screw it up, as it's kind of like in that flinching animation, you have a little more time to get back on target and make a follow-up. Garoppolo went to the Raiders? Is that official? I saw somebody said that earlier, but I thought that was like oh, he's the only one left, so he must go there. Verhunga would probably be worse lag because of the size of the map. It is a big map, and there's a lot of like vegetation and stuff, like Bottom Boy was saying, the grass. Kyla was like known in this community long before we were together or that we had ever talked or anything. Kyla was known for her struggles with water buffalo. I think it's amazing you haven't done a video of like water buffalo revenge, whatever, 5 years later? It'll be 5 years this winter the Parquet came out. It's official, signed, sealed, delivered. Nice. Raiders really downgraded the QB position? I don't know, Carr's not that good either. Known for being a kayak. Do you think the Steelers should have went for Lamar Jackson? Probably not. They're not a quarterback away. Like, they need to bolster their offensive line still. Their defensive line, like Cam Hayward's good, and that's about it. Like, if TJ Watt, we're going to put him in the linebacker category, even though he's an edge rusher. They had a horrible time stopping the run last year. I genuinely think the Steelers won as many games as they did because teams think this is the old Steelers defense that you can't run on, and they just forget to keep running the ball because they couldn't stop anything. So they need better defensive linemen. Their linebacker core is bad. Like, paying a ton of money for a quarterback right now ain't it for them. They also really know how to stop Lamar Jackson, so having him in your division is not the worst thing. The only time they lost to them was when Duck Hodges was at quarterback, and if Juju didn't fumble, they'd have probably beaten him that time too. They've only played him like 3 times. He always is hurt for their games, but still. No football talk. You're just sad that your quarterback's gonna be Jordan Love now. Still surprised with the Panthers-Bears trade? Bears robbed the Panthers? Maybe. Depends, right? What if Justin Fields doesn't pan out? And what if CJ Stroud does? It's just, it's projections and stuff. That's all it is. Speaking a different language right now, no hablo inglés. I can speak Spanish. Definitely. Yeah, so what? Don't worry, man. I'm in the same boat. We got Kenny Pickett. He may or may not be good. Colors look amazing. That's one of the things that bugs me about this map. Because it does look really good. And this was one of the things that I thought was going to be appealing about it. If you go back and watch some of the content I made like in New England Early Access and when the map finally came out, in a lot of streams people would ask my opinions on it. It was always something like this. It's kind of meh for now. There's no new species. There's nothing to really strive for. But I always thought that it would be really good like around this time of year when, it's been 3 months since it came out. Moose Great One maybe aren't like the big hype thing anymore. And we still have 3 more months-ish to wait until the next map comes out. I thought that would be when New England would be a lot of fun. It just doesn't have the appeal for me. Pretty for picks, mad to play. I do like the pumpkins. I never thought of that. That would make sense. Broncos signed Jarrett Stidham? Why? Huh. That's interesting. I would have thought that Josh McDaniels would have wanted to hang on to him. I guess, though, like, he's never had a chance to prove himself, so he probably wanted out. Let's go 308 on this one. It's a really nice animation. Like, a lot of stuff about these guns is good. If they just performed like 5% better, I think there would be a lot more hype around them right now. Have you ever hunted in Europe? I've ever been to Europe. I've never been to Europe is the way I tried to say that. I love how I just joined as a clueless European hearing you talk about football, and the fact that I've ever been to Europe apparently gets thrown in there too. New England's fun if you go to the mountaintops with a shotgun, the ducks fly at eye level. I've seen that in a couple of spots. Like up, you're talking about up in here? Usually I don't have a shotgun, I think, when that happens. I've never gotten to really do anything about that. Hello? I see you. What if I just, like, use a 338 on a whitetail? He was facing the wrong way, but still. Best weapon for grinding red deer? So here's the thing, right? If you want to use a weapon that's ethical for red deer, as in, like, get the full metal on any red deer you shoot, I'd go 308. A lot of people grind red deer with the 300, because if you hit a red deer, say, in the leg with the 308, it won't die. Every red deer you hit, regardless of where you hit it, with the 300, will die. And sometimes it happens. Sometimes they flee before you're ready, sometimes they move just as you shoot, and that can be a big deal, that you don't have to get a follow-up shot in them to make sure that they go down and you get that respawn. Love the new varnishes. The Beechwood, which I believe Mel said comes with the Hirschfeld Veteran Pack, which, by the way, is separate from the Hunter Power Pack. I think there's actually 2 DLCs here with this update. But it's really pretty. It's, This camo that we've got on the 338, I think is also Hirschfelden. What camo did I have on? Oh, it's like the New England one, but a little more of a brownish color, like a photorealistic camo. That's Hirschfelden as well. Is this a real live right now? Yes. I am alive. I think it was here. We shot that melanistic buck. Let's go visit that spot. I think it might be dead. Hello? Ooh, I like this. If you could set the roadmap for EW in the next year, what 3 things would you do for this game? Okay. I take these questions too seriously and I really try to think it out. Alright, so let's just say that we're going to go up to the second map for the year, so we won't worry about 2024. So, if I could set the roadmap, the map that they typically release in the summer, I would probably do Africa 2.0. I think it will actually be 5 years since Virhunga came out. Now, Virhunga was delayed. Virhunga was probably meant to be released in June, like every map they always release in June. Virhunga came out in August, but 5 years, basically, it would be 4 years and 10 months. I think that would be a fitting thing, you know, 5 years later, do another Africa map. Alright, then in September, normally there is either a weapon pack or a equipment thing, something like that. I would actually do retrievers. I think that would just, it would get a lot of people hunting things like Reventuli Coast, the waterfowl maybe here on New England, on Mississippi there's some waterfowl and stuff too. I think that would just kind of help those maps out a bit. And then we're looking at the December map. What would I do for that? I think Greenland would be cool, but I think that's a me thing, not an everybody thing. Australia's requested a lot. I'd probably go there. You could do crocodiles on the Africa 2.0 that you could then also do on Australia. There's a lot of unique species you could do there. And you could bring, like, say, axis deer over. Sandbar and rooster deer could be new. I mean, yeah, I think that's how I would do it. I think that would be... And obviously quality of life stuff, too. For goodness sake, can we get filters in the Trophy Lodge? It's amazing we don't have that yet. Kangaroos, there you go. Should make a video about this? You know why I don't do videos on that kind of stuff very often? Because, let's say that literally everybody who watches agrees with me. If EW doesn't, I just make a bunch of people excited for something that's not going to happen. I don't like doing that. I do the Christmas wish. That thing. Christmas Eve wish list, yeah. I do that, and I try to make that very obvious, like, this is things I just really hope happen. It's hard to do that in another context where I wouldn't potentially get hopes up. Open letter to EW? Dearest expensive worlds, I write to you today. Anyway. I wish they fixed the inland muzzleloaders so it could zero out to 200, just like the other muzzleloaders. It said that a Civil War era weapon can outperform a modern weapon. Yeah, and also it literally makes negative sense. Inlines are very capable. Out like 150, 200 yards. I guess if you put a scope on a cap lock, you could do that, but it should be the inverse. The cap lock should be the one that only goes to, like, say 100 or 125 or something. It's backwards. Not the only thing in Call of the Wild that's backwards, but, you know, one step at a time. Either we hit him in the vertebrae or we hit the ground. I don't know. There's a bigger one in there anyway. Got my driving permit. Nice, congrats. I feel like one of the maps needs crocodiles. That'd be so cool to hunt. Yeah, I kind of hope if they do them, they would actually remove the... Well, actually no. They should keep the mechanic where they can go underwater, but they should just let us use better weapons. Make them class 7 so we can use the 300 or the 338. I think it's problem solved. A lot of people dislike hunting gators because they're so likely to escape. And it's because they're class 6. If they were class 7, not a big deal. Smoke the hill? I probably did. Oh, no, wait. Unless he... I don't know. Because he, like, didn't go anywhere. Now it's a vital hit. Why did you, like, not just insta-die, sir? What's up, John? Been ages since I caught a stream. How's the hunt going? It's not going too bad now. It's a little bit slow at the start, but now that we're well into whitetail drink time, we're just cruising, shooting all kinds of stuff. What I missed? Nothing special. Talking about football and if I were in charge of VW, what kind of things I put on the roadmap, all that good stuff. Swearing Kevlar, maybe. I remember when Australia was released on Classic, people were hyped, but the map kind of flopped and didn't keep people interested. If they make one for Call of the Wild, I hope it'd be more interesting. One thing that would really kind of benefit Call of the Wild over a Classic map would be the general size. Classics maps are... I don't know what the actual size is, but they're definitely a good bit smaller than Call of the Wilds. You could actually do, you know, Bush Rangers Run, and then have another biome that's more like Picayune Bay, and maybe another biome or two. I think that would help. Because if you look at, this map's not a good example, but you've got mountains, you've got field areas, you've got forest, you've got the creeks and stuff. Like, it's still pretty diverse biome-wise, and it's far from the most diverse map there is. Having a strunk? Dude, I don't know what's wrong with me. I've been needing to go to bed for like 3 weeks straight every time I stream. You know what did happen today, though? It was like 7 a.m. And I can't remember, I was talking to the neighbor and she told me what was going on, but they're either like getting natural gas heat or they're changing something about how it gets to their house or something. And they were out there, you know, whatever people they've hired to do that at, I don't know, 7 or something. And Shadow was like, no, you're staying awake now. So she would just bark. Every time I'd almost fall back asleep, because I was going to sleep till like 8 or something today. Start yapping again. Why don't you use the dog? You know, honestly, I don't know why I don't have the dog equipped. I must have unequipped it for this early access back when New England came out, and I just never took him out of the kennel. Going to the tackle store sounds good. Do you think Call of the Wild is better than Way the Hunter? Depends on... How did I end up going this way? Oh no, we fast traveled, I think, right? Yeah, I was trying to get down there. Yikes. Anyway, it depends on how you look at it. I think Way the Hunter is a much more realistic hunting simulation game. I think it's... Not only is it not for everybody, it's a very niche game. Like, you have to have a lot of time, you have to be very patient, you have to be looking for that type of experience. Call of the Wild's a little more accessible and a little more like, you know, anybody can jump in, whether you have 100 hours a week to play games or 5, and you can still succeed in Call of the Wild regardless. That's one of the beauties of the game. It really kind of has a place for everybody, which is nice. Read Soup's message, por favor. Where is Soup? Is it 12 years ago? Or are you talking about a DM? The real question is the Way the Hunter community better than the Call of the Wild community? The Way the Hunter community is pretty, like tight-knit, I guess I would say. There's a guy that makes what's called like a Way the Hunter toolbox, and he has like the maps all mapped out where zone locations are and the collectibles and like all that stuff done, sort of like the spreadsheets are in Call of the Wild. I think Way the Hunter being a smaller community is going to make it feel more like welcoming, but that's just kind of how smaller communities are. Oh, filters at the Trophy Lodge is a good idea, but what other 3 quality of life things do you think need to happen to go with your roadmap ideas? 3 other quality of life things. Filters for the lodge. I wouldn't hate, not to stick with the filters idea too much, I wouldn't hate if somehow we could filter, you know, say I can bring this thing up and I can select I only want whitetail zones to show or something, because I think that would be kind of useful. What else? How about blacktail and Roosevelt elk track overhauls? Roosevelts aren't terrible anymore. Blacktail are still pretty bad. And what will be a third one? I would be kind of splitting the community, I think, if I said remove herd management, but I kind of can't help but think leaving that in the game is not going to be so great for it. Like to delete old trophies in Call of the Wild? Well, you're supposed to be able to, but when I hit that button, it works, and then I close the game, and then I reopen, and then they're back. What maps hunting today? We're just on New England mountains. Custom multi-mounts and mount placement? I feel like that's doable, right? It may require more resources, and there may be engine limitations and stuff, but if you could just like choose from existing poses for animals, and then just put 2 in on the same mount, or even if you had 2 mounts, like 2 platforms, that, you know, you can move their location on the floor, you could effectively make custom mounts pretty simply. Blacktail and Bighorn? Oh, Bighorn's one I should have mentioned, yeah. I actually, like, I love Bighorn and Way the Hunter. I love Bighorn and Classic. They're really cool species in real life in general. I'd love to enjoy them in Call of the Wild. They look terrible. They do. They need an overhaul. Herd management's good for people that can't play all the time. Yeah, I do actually. I generally do look at it that way. I think it's bad, though. I think it's bad for, like, the value of great ones and stuff. Because if you have 20 of them, what's the point? That's where it kind of gets the line gets blurred a little bit there. Because there's supposed to be this ultimate trophy. And then when you knowingly use an exploit to get them. Because it'd be one thing if the game was designed that way, but it wasn't. Like, it is actively taking advantage of the game zone mechanics. Anyway, I don't want to get into the herd management thing. This always happens when we're streaming, but it is what it is. We need the farming sim content. Did you catch yesterday's stream over on Twitch? We did it for almost 2 hours. I have diamonds and I don't play much. We can't all be as good as you, Soupy. Elk are my favorite species in real life, and the elk in game look terrible. Yeah, they're definitely not as good as Way the Hunter elk. I think classic elk are actually even better. The one thing is, classics Roosevelts are technically not realistic, but they look incredible. And it's one of those things like, in games, do you want it to look really impressive, or do you want it to look more realistic? Kind of like, maybe like Sitka deer would be a decent example. You don't want to make them too small, even though most Sitka deer are kind of smallish in real life. How does herd management work? Yeah, we typically don't explain it only because we don't like to promote exploits, which is odd because the official Discord also doesn't promote exploits, but it's almost like it's an accepted exploit. I don't know. Anyway, it's exploiting the game's respawn mechanic, which isn't something I think is the best because it's an exploit. I think Caribou and Ranger need some love too. Also, trolls suck. You've been on the trolls suck train for a while. I don't think it's a bad thing that trolls can happen, but you and I are on the same page, I know, because we talked about this. If it was an age thing and not a levels thing, it would just make more sense. I prefer the shoe stuff method. Same here, man. Like, and I don't mind the general concept of grinding, but I love the just wandering style hunt. Like, maybe there's going to be something good up here today. But if say the last time I was up there, I went through and didn't shoot anything, because respawns are respawns, there's not going to be anything good up there. Like, unless I've shot some stuff, you know? What time will the weapon pack release? Normally it's like 7-ish a.m. Eastern time, but kind of just depends. It's not always the exact same time. I already forget where we're going. Creek. 412 viewers. Holy 12. Yukon needs caribou herds in the hundreds? That won't hurt performance. No lag here, folks. Age would be a lot better than levels. I just think it adds like a realism factor. And if you're worried about looking like Way the Hunter, if you just do the years, don't worry about young adult, mature. And they don't have to get older. Just they exist at the age they are. That's fine. And maybe that's the one. Could that be a place where it gets confusing? Maybe. I could kind of see that. That may be one reason to not do, you know, age over levels. Because if you see this deer is 3 years old, you may get the impression that things do get older. You could make an effort, though, to make that clear through tutorials or whatever. I like to just wander instead of just hunting drink zones because it's less predictable. Not to be the make it like classic guy, but that's why classic is timeless. You never know what or where you're going to run into because it's random. Who cares about great ones if you have 70? I'd rather watch the random hunt. It's way more special. Yeah, I just think, like, you know, I like to maybe try to grind for one great one of each species because it's cool to have one in the lodge, but I don't know. It's strayed pretty far from hunting. I guess I'll put it that way. Is there going to be a pop reset? I don't think so. There's not been anything said about him. Actually, I can say pretty confidently there's not. Because last Friday on Twitch, we went to Yukon Valley. And we ended up killing the same diamond wolf and same melanistic bison that I had already killed in the past. Because this is an old save file that's like here for the early access. So, if there was a pop reset, those things shouldn't have been there. A timeless classic, see that? It's cool to have like people getting at least a diamond of each species. That was the way that I used to look at it. And maybe in a way I still do. Like, I still attempt to grind for moose and black bear, but not to the, like, I don't have nearly the same motivation for it as I did with the whitetail. Would you rather mini maps with a reset pop every time or big maps with set pops Call of the Wild style? That's the thing, right? That's where it gets really tough because you can't feasibly do random pops in Call of the Wild because the maps are so big. Same reason you can't do it in Way the Hunter. Now, Way the Hunter has that aging system, so there's a little bit more of a, you know, just because this animal's small now, it's got potential later kind of thing, and you know, you want to manage your herds and all that. That's tough. I would almost say I want Call of the Wild's style of map and size of map and stuff. Because if there's one, I'm all over the place with the game and stuff today. If there's one drawback to Aurora Shores and Way the Hunter, it's a little bit too small. I don't very often on any Call of the Wild map feel like, man, I've hunted all the spots today. You know, there's always somewhere more I could get to if I just had more time. And that matters a lot. That matters a lot for a hunting game. Just wish there was something you could do about the random thing. Because you can't. You can't randomize it. You'd never see more than 10% of the animals, and then, like, you just feel like you're missing out all the time? Call the WAP? I think that's a different thing. Aurora Shores is elite, but I get what you mean. I love Aurora Shores, don't get me wrong. But I do, after, like, 2 hours or so, I'm like, I've been everywhere. Guess I'll rest and see if anything age. Did you shoot a raccoon with a 7mm? Yeah, I don't have the right weapons, so we're just making do. When's the next Way the Hunter video coming out? I don't know. This week's gonna be a mess. tomorrow obviously is the release of the Hunter Power Pack, so the plan's going to be actually a pretty early video, 7 a.m. or thereabouts, and then a stream maybe at 10, something like that, again, fairly early. I gotta take Kyler to the airport tomorrow, so I can't stream late. Or I can stream really late, but I don't think I'll do that. Shadow will be in the truck for like 4 hours straight, she doesn't need that. So anyway, I'll probably stick with Call of the Wild and the new weapons and stuff, you know, try to get 1 diamond with each weapon like we always do. At least till Friday, and then I still haven't gotten to release the West Virginia hunt for the buck I killed with Bottom Boy last year. That normally would come out tomorrow, but there's no point doing that because the Hunter Power Pack, it's all just a big ol' cluster. So I don't know yet. I don't know when Way the Hunter's going to fit into that mix, but maybe around the weekend. Are you a little disappointed that 338 isn't noticeably better than the 300? Yeah, because like I don't mind that the 338 and the 300 perform about the same. I really don't. If EW wants to make the argument that, you know, the 338 had, like, we've designed it to be lighter loads and the 300 to be, you know, the rounds to be loaded a little bit more hot. And maybe the reasoning is you have to pay in-game cash for the 300. Whatever logic you want to put behind it, you can make an argument that they should be about the same. That's fine. But the reason that I think is disappointing that the 338's not better is that when EW comes out with new weapon packs, there's always like an improvement over the past meta. I was saying before, like, I think I started grinding for Whitetail with the M1. I think it was out by then. But if it wasn't, I'd have used probably the 30-06. But then the M1 came out, and then that would be the best. And then the 303 came out. There's some argument there whether it should be used because it was more powerful. But then the 308 AR comes out. And that's the grinding weapon. Nothing here kind of surpasses that. And the same goes with the 300 and 338. It just... they're about the same. I think the 300 is probably a little bit faster shooting. There's not a good reason to use the 338. And I mean, they're really fun guns. Don't get me wrong. Like, I love using them. They're insanely powerful. Grinding is a big thing in this game. And they're not better for that specific thing. I cried myself to sleep last night after seeing your video comparison. You know, I really like doing comparison style stuff. It's a lot of fun to put things to the test and really determine, like, you know, once and for all, to put it that way, what guns should be used in certain scenarios, but that made me a little bit sad that they were so close. They want you to buy a map to get the better weapon. I'm going to tell you this, Ormy. So I thought of that when I was making that video, and I was like, man, I cannot say that the 300 is more expensive and that's the reasoning, because I don't think it is. I know people think EW is greedy and stuff, and maybe they are, I don't know. But their DLCs, compared to a lot of other games out there, are pretty inexpensive. I really don't think it's anything to do with that. But I thought of it, and I was like, man, if I even suggest that, the comments are going to go wild. What's up, Mel? April Fool's Day video where you play that mobile hunting clash video? I think I should have Kyla just do a video on my channel and not address it at all. Just pretend like everything's normal. $75K for the 300 is worth it? It definitely is. That was another argument too, like for the 338, that it's cheaper. And I was like, that's true, but if you... for grinding purposes, right? If you're setting up a grind, 75K is nothing. You spend so much on tents and tripods and stuff, that part really doesn't matter. Now, if you're just getting started, yeah, the 338's probably going to be quite good for that. The thing is, you still need to unlock the 338 ammo. Now, I believe you also need to unlock 300 ammo, so there's no, like, big winner there. But, it's not the type of thing where you can just buy it as a beginner and, you know, your first shot in the game's a 338 kill. Is the update gonna mess with people's grinds? I don't think so. To my knowledge, there's no pop resets or anything like that. Now, we did, on Friday, find a melanistic moose over on Yukon that I've never seen before, but they don't exactly stand out, so it wouldn't shock me if I've just walked past it a couple times. Also, I haven't hunted Yukon that much. So I guess there's a chance that moose pops have been reset, but I don't think they have been. Found a diamond melanistic moose, there you go. Are the guns in the weapon pack going to be free once the pack... Where'd that go? Once the pack... Did you ask if it's purchased? There it is, yes. Yeah, you don't have to buy with in-game cash if that's what you mean. You know what I thought of earlier today? Jaxy probably said this. What's the limit on how many loadouts you can have? Because I feel like I'm going to want like 20. Do the missions on Tay and you get the 303 for free? That's true. Not a bad gun to use there. Alright, I just want to see. Is 10 the max? God, I hope not. But why? There's more than 10 maps. I guess there's some maps you would use the same loadout on, but I would have thought one for each map would have made sense. I've been thinking there was 12 this whole time. Can only buy 10 loadout slots. 10 tops for now? I know there's a lot of info they save, because, like, it does save the current inventory slots on top of, like, what's actually in the loadout. But I feel like we need at least one for each map. There isn't a loadout per map? I guess not. I kind of expected that there was, so I haven't looked at that till just now. Thoughts on squirrels in Call of the Wild? I think it would actually be cool. The problem with it is the hitboxes. So you see this tree right here is 19 meters away. If we move this reticle up the tree, we're going to reach a point where there's no hitbox. Is the way, I think, I'm not a developer, but I believe the way that you would have to make a squirrel climb a tree is you'd have to have the hitboxes, like, defined. And the reason, by the way, that you had, you see the hitbox eventually go away partway up the tree is because if the game had to render all that stuff, there's that much more potential lag and all that. Just have squirrels only live on the ground? I mean, I've seen turkeys walking around at night and that's immersion breaking too, and I'd still deal with it, but maybe that'd be fine. Or maybe squirrels only go so far up a tree? That's an option. I haven't thought of that. Do squirrels like gators? They disappear when they shoot up the tree? That could work. Could definitely work. They had squirrels that late and they were on the ground? They did. I think Hirschfelden too. Medved even had weasels. I missed what you said, Soup. I don't know what it was. Do they have gophers? They do not. They have European rabbits, though, which, while may sound entirely unrelated, those rabbits have burrows, so you could theoretically do gophers the same way. Or have a certain type of tree they live in. I guess you could just use that as a zone effectively, and that could be fine. Because I was going to say that too, they could just have their own type of tree. I kind of think some of the appeal of hunting squirrels, though, would be like having to find them. And if you just had to look for a certain type of tree, that would eliminate some of the fun. No bucks. There were bucks, but they weren't running slow. Will the full update be out tomorrow? Yes. It's going good, Pizza. The video for tomorrow is pretty much all set to go. I'm actually quite excited to get back on the live game. A, because I want to go and look for that moose over on Yukon. But also B, because like I know none of this stuff counts. Like, I guess in a sense it counts because there's a video of it and that's forever. But other than that, it effectively is all gone tomorrow. And the first couple days of early access, that that's not a consideration ever. But then you get towards the end and it's like, okay, I sort of want to go back to the live game. I want to shoot cool things and actually put them in my lodge when I'm done. Do you know what the spook radius is being adjusted to? It's basically 200 meters again. I still think there's a change though. Things that say 210, they don't spook, but they go alert now and they didn't used to. What do you think a Euro Bison Great One could look like? I think the horns would be a little bit bigger, and I think that they have some unique furs. I think maybe like a one that's all scarred. Now there's nothing on Hirschfelden that would cause a bison to be all scarred up, unless another bison would do it from sparring. That could be an option, but I think you would just need to have, you know, some kind of something like the moose, just very unique furs. Any IRL hunting trips planned? Well, we're tentatively going to Ohio for turkey here next month, and I say tentatively because the Ohio turkey opener is right around the time we're supposed to go to Georgia for Kyla's birthday, so I don't really know how that fits into things yet, but I'm pretty sure in the fall we're going back to West Virginia again, and I thought... No, that might be it this year. I think it's just those two. There was something else on my mind. Oh, actually, if everything lines up just right, I might go and hunt Indiana rifle with Aaron, because I'm pretty sure that the opener this year is like the week between archery and rifle here. And it's like an 8-hour drive, so it's not a big deal. You need to tell me when's convenient for you in Ohio? I don't know. I don't know how that's going. It's really not my plan because Aaron has like 7 seconds of free time every 4 months. So he has to kind of plan that stuff. Ohio exists? Well, kinda. If you squint your eyes, it's there. Heli hunt feral pigs? I mean, if someone wants to pay for me to do that, I imagine that's not cheap. If Sir Flinter could have any animal at a call lot as a pet, would he? Huh?
The closest thing to a raptor you can get.
I do like the capercaillies. What about... it's an okay buck. What about... I feel like a rabbit's the obvious answer. That's like a pet thing already. Let's not do rabbits. I'm trying to think of like the small animals. Can I have my piebald gray fox? That'd be cool. Ohio never existed? Get a moose so you have a steed? I mean, that is an idea. Sadly, I believe moose would be taller than our ceiling, so that could be a problem. Taking a gray wolf? I mean, provided that, you know, they don't eat you. Basically just a dog, right? Nevada, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. Thank you always for the great content. Always enjoy for sure. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for the support. Having a moose steed would make him Canadian? I would ride around. I'm going the wrong way here by accident. Yeah, there's a moose there, though. Anyway, I would ride around on my moose steed going the correct direction. He would never lead me astray with my flask of maple syrup and, I don't know, something else Canadian. Have you been in Vegas? No. I think that would kill me due to anxiety. Rainforest Island and Aurora Shores better than the entirety of Transylvania? If I just spent more time on Transylvania, I know I'd like it. The roe deer look incredible. The red deer, I have gotten to see those. They do look incredible. Mouflon are great. Fallow deer look really good. I never hunt there. And so what happens is, I go out on that map, I don't know what I'm doing, I spook a bunch of stuff, and I kill like 3 things in 2 hours. Have you not played American Marksman on mobile? I haven't, actually. I've seen it. As a Canadian, you're living the dream. You know, everybody has a dream out there, and I want a moose steed. Love Transylvania Way of the Hunter, best map in the game. I'm a Nez Perce fan myself, although Roar Shores is definitely like my new favorite. The only thing, like I said, it's a little bit small, and I think that's gonna hurt it in the long run. Nice, yesterday I shot a level 8 albino red deer, making the multi-mount with 2 red deer. I'm missing the last part, but regardless, that's a thick albino. Semi-dog water. I feel so overlooked because you hunt more at a single island in Alaska than the entirety of my area. Meaning like where you're from in real life. So I had this thought while shed hunting the other day. Want to hear my app idea? Yes. Is it an app that is like those... Remember when like apps were just becoming a thing and there was like that beer drinking app? Which would just, if you tilted your phone back, it made it look like you were drinking beer. They were very simple apps, right? And then there were like night vision ones that didn't really do anything but turn the screen green. Is it going to be an app that finds sheds for you? Sort of like it turns the screen green?
I just saw a TikTok where someone had certain glasses.
They're from mushroom hunting. I've seen those.
Yeah, so the mushroom hunt.
But do they work?
I don't know. And I'm not going to spend the money to figure it out.
So what you're telling me is there's a chance that these mushroom glasses are cap.
Cap.
There's a joke in there, but I'm not going to say it.
Right.
iBeer, is that what it was called? The bubble wrap app was the goat? I remember that. You know what else that we messed with a lot because we were like 12? The talking animals. It was Talking Tom was a cat and Talking Ben was a dog. My brother and I thought those were so funny. I think the mushroom glasses are fake. I mean, I don't know how it could possibly work, but like, maybe there's a little bit of something to it. Smoke the like button. Holy. Should make that a sound alert. I still have Talking Ben? Nice. Does he still just sit in his chair with like a newspaper? I think an ability to give him like a soda and make him burp. That was all that he could do in the past, I think. And talk, obviously. So you know how I love opening maps? Yes. GTA, Call of the Wild, Red Dead 2. It's not that I hate... Oh my god, I know where this is going. It's not that I hate the shading. I just love opening up and discovering stuff. Well, I want an app that lets me explore IRL and open up an area. How is that not a thing? Dude, that's actually... That's a great idea. Because you are not the only one. And... It almost... Like, if you could do it... semi-accurately, you know, work with Google Maps or whatever, because a lot of, I don't know how much you gotta pay to do that, but a lot of apps do use like Google Maps, like Onyx, I believe, is powered by Google Maps, whatever they say. If you made it accurate enough, you could actually, it would almost help, because you could see where you've gone looking for sheds, and where you still need to go. I'm a fan. Mushrooms aren't a visual thing, it's an internal feeling. I think we're talking about different kind of mushrooms. Should do a collab with KG and teach him how to play? I'm sure he knows how to play by now, right? Where are you planning on getting married? At the airport where we first met. That's not true. Kyla said no as I was shooting the gun. I don't know if you guys could hear that. Jaren, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate the support. Thank you, thank you. What's up? Have I missed anything? Not much. We've shot a bunch of stuff today. Nothing special to speak of. But, you know, as per usual, we've been talking about all kinds of stuff from real-life hunting to football to, you know, future hopes and dreams for Call of the Wild, all that good stuff. Onyx is, so is Deercast? Oh, is Deercast Google Maps too? My brother has Deercast, and it's different. The maps are different than mine. And I have Onyx. Maybe his needs updated. Or mine. How do you feel about the spook radius being reverted? For maps like this, it's probably good. But I actually liked it. I liked the challenge of being like, you know, just, you gotta think about it a little bit more. If there was, let's say, like a... Hold this out here. Let's say I want to shoot this cow moose. It's 350 meters away. Now I can kind of just do it. But before I should have, you know, checked around the corner. Is there something drinking down here that would spook when I take that shot? It just kind of took a little bit of the strategy out by reverting. I've seen KG unironically gun down bears with a Glock, but that's his style though, right? I've seen more of his IRL stuff than his Call of the Wild stuff, but like, I always see his thing is like, you know, cheapest gun in Walmart hunting challenge or whatever. I feel like those two things are somehow related. Got a 5-star albino whitetail and diamond drill? Nice. Oh, I think I missed what Bottom Boy said. I'm thinking you can set it to open an area however much you wanted. Shed hunting equals 5-foot wide opening. Hiking trail a mile wide? Yeah, if you changed your setting, that could work. Would probably be a battery killer, but let's bring a portable charge, we'll be right. Even got levels? You gotta take this to a app developer. This is a good idea. Did that moose just spawn there? Am I insane? I swear I watched it pop into render as we took that shot. Shit, great one. Euro bison have elk antlers or fallow antlers. I just saw somebody shot one the other day that, like, there's a bug where if you crash as you're harvesting an animal, the next thing that you shoot... No, not if you crash. How does that work? If you disconnect from a multiplayer server, maybe? When you join another one, the next thing you shoot will have the antlers of the thing that you, like, got disconnected on. I saw somebody had a bison with elk antlers, so I'll go with that. That was the reason I thought of it, Bottom Boy, because that's... It does, like, really, really drain your battery fast. It's good, though, like, if you make a shot that's even remotely questionable, it's just smart to have it pathed out where you've already checked. Because especially in the dark, right? You go back the next morning, you're kind of like, well, I think I went down through there. Or was it that opening? Or was I actually going that way? Nothing looks the same in the daylight, so that feature's really important there. Is the metals material camo actually metallic looking? Why don't we go and take a peek at that? Got a moose to claim and then we can do that. Zone change is the best thing about this update? Like, the animals getting into their zones on time? On Leighton, things felt better to me. It felt like animals were getting there sooner. On Virhunga, I've seen stuff getting there pretty late. This tree looks familiar? No, you. I like where you're going there, Nevada. Alright. Got this little gold lad. Yeah, if we go to here, we can jump right back down to the creek then. Just broke my heart. I mean, it could be like just circumstantial evidence, but every time I see that, I'm like, man, I hope that I'm wrong because it makes me... I'm so hopeful that bear grinding is going to be more fun if things get into their zone on time. Can you read this stuff? Almost can. Anyway. So you want to see, I think, we'll do it on this guy. You want to see this? The matte sand metal? It kind of has a bit of a matte finish, if you ask me. Not a good combo, but we'll run with it. Not the most metallic looking thing. I mean, better than the paints, for sure. Like, for my money, that's really close to what I have on my real life 7mm Mod 8. And that's about how shiny and stuff it is. But, like, differentiate that from, well, let's say, like, the orange paint. It's not super different. It is different. You can see it, but not, you know, notably. Making it camo now. Can level 4 Springbuck make diamond? I don't think so. Can I be the first man? Is that what they call that? Are you gonna be the first lady? Living in the White House? We need water troughs to create drink zones? While that actually is a very good strategy in real life, here's the thing, because I'm guessing you're coming at this from like a perspective of, you know, maybe you want to bow hunt and set up a drink zone like close to your tree stand in a good spot. It would be abused so bad for like herd management and stuff. I just don't think it would be good for the game overall, unfortunately. Smoked it in the back leg. Holy. What shooting this is. There we go. It's too bad that their metal customization sucks so much and I'm the best man. You are? You're actually, well, no, you're on the east side. Never mind. I was going to say you're closer to where it'll be than most people. Literally, I was going to say that, Soup. I was going to be like, you could go and officiate, actually. Weddings are cool? Yes. You know what's not cool about weddings, though? My brother and his fiancé are getting married this summer, and, you know, it's almost like everybody in your family goes to a wedding. I don't know who's watching our dog that entire time. Not a clue.
You know, normal people would put their dog in a kennel.
Well, it's gonna be like, somebody would have to come let her out. It's gonna be like all day. Maybe Bead can do it. What?
I said I'll hire Marissa to come out here and we have to do it for your cousin's wedding.
We didn't have to do that. We could have figured something out.
Spoiled brat.
Weddings have good food. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've been to like 2 weddings where I was like, wow, the food was actually good.
See, and you're paying a lot of money for food, so that's what kind of sucks, in my opinion. Like, if you're going to a wedding, you're like, oh, this food is kind of mediocre, like,
But the wedding that you're talking about, my cousin's wedding, had really good food. You can watch the doggo. I don't want to, like, willingly have my dog thieved, though. How did you and Kyla meet? Ironically, doing this. Are you familiar with, like, the choose your own hunt videos that I did? Back in, I think, what, 2019? So, I was in the process of working on those, and basically I wasn't releasing any videos during that time. I was only streaming every day, because the choose your own hunt took a lot of work. There was a lot of planning involved and getting everything just right, and editing and thumbnailing and all this stuff. So, instead of recording for 2 hours, then editing for an hour, making a thumbnail, all that, I was just streaming every day. And Kyla was in the stream chats all the time, and especially back then, I think, you know, I was one of maybe like 4 people making Call of the Wild content. Call of the Wild as a whole was really kind of taken off in popularity then, so the streams were just nuts.
they were crazy.
And poor Kyla sitting there not as a mod trying to help, so I just made her a mod, and she kind of stuck around for a long time, and then one day, she asked me something about, like, streaming, and then we just kept on talking, and here we are. Now we're engaged. That's how we really met? Yeah. I like to say we met in an airport, because it makes it downplays everything, and I'm all about stupid humor, but... I hope I didn't miss whatever you said there, Will. I may have. Yeah, I think that's definitely what Kyla said. Cape for the old gun barrel. That's it. You got it. She was like, "You're the one for me now that you." Never mind. How long have we been engaged? It was Christmas Day evening this past year. And she still didn't expect it. How about that? Is there a max score for Bighorn? It appears to be in the area of like 173. I haven't seen one bigger than that. That's a really better story than I swipe right while on the couch. My sister and her fiance, I'm pretty sure they met on Tinder. I'm not... I think. I'm pretty sure. So, I have 2 siblings, brother and a sister, meaning my parents have 3 kids, and that would mean 2 of their kids met their fiancés online, myself included. So, like, I think my sister's fiancé is from like an hour away, Kyla's lived like 11 hours away, and then my brother and his fiancé went to the same school, so go figure. How do you like the 308? I like it a lot. I think it's the best sounding gun of the bunch. It's plenty powerful. You know, it's right up there, if not better than most 4-8 weapons. But I think, you know, everything's phrased in terms of grinding anymore, and the AR-308 has less recoil. Obviously, it's semi-automatic. It's a faster fire rate. That's going to be more preferable for grinds. How long did you do long distance? I think it was 8 months. It was like February to October. Yeah, 8 months. Which felt way longer than that, but I think back to that time frame often. Basically, like the first time Kyla came to visit, it was March. Then I went there in April. Then she came here in May. And then I went there in June. I think from June on, it was every 2 weeks. Either I was flying to Georgia or driving to Pittsburgh to pick her up. So I was like constantly prepping content or something. Like it was a non-stop grind for quite some time in terms of like trying to get my work side of stuff done so that we actually could spend time together. It was good times.
Now here we are with it burning.
See, I feel like everybody probably thinks this about their dogs, but this dog is way closer to a child than I ever thought it was gonna be. Do you ever get tired of playing Hunter Call of the Wild? I usually don't anymore because, like, there's a day that we're doing Classic and we're streaming Classic, and then we're streaming Farming Sim on Sundays, and there's a way the Hunter content thrown in there. I really don't, like, have time to end up getting tired of Call of the Wild. Usually I don't get enough done in Call of the Wild every week. I was grinding for a great one, Kyla? Yeah, basically. Can you get the 338 championship on PS4? Yes. You would have to do all the stone circle challenges on Parque Fernando. If you don't know what that is, not to worry. You can look up guides on YouTube. You can look up guides on like Steam. There's plenty of guides on where they are. I think there's 10 or 12 locations. You basically go to an area. I can believe this, but it's a circle made out of stones. You stand in that circle, and then a target will appear in the distance at different ranges and stuff. And those guides will tell you like what direction to look, how far away, and all that. And you shoot the target with whatever gun you want. You do those 10, and then you get the thing. I keep going on and off in Call of the Wild. I'm thinking of coming back again and returning to grinding. The biggest thing to like keep playing the game and keep on coming back is setting goals. Whether that's, you know, if you're grinding, whether that's for a great one or, you know, getting a diamond with every weapon. That's the thing I try to do. Get a diamond of every species. I've been thinking I was going to say this in the video, but I'll say it here. if you guys like Revan Thule, the next, like, I'll spend some time with Moose again because the 338's coming out, but the next, like, I don't know, month, I think we're gonna be on Revan Thule a lot. I just want to get the raccoon dog and the geese done, because we've almost done the entire thing in single player, and then other stuff happened and we've slowed down. So I want to get that going again. What's up, Zygurts? Came back recently because FPS games are getting old. Not to mention rage-inducing. Yeah, I love competitive games. I was never much for like FPS games, but I played like Rocket League or Madden or whatever, just competitive stuff. And all competitive things are rage-inducing. And I just got to a point where I was like, I don't need to give myself more reason to be annoyed. It's good when you win, right? But as many like professional athletes and stuff will say, coaches more so than athletes, I think. It gets to a point where the losing hurts more than the winning feels good, basically. Are Parquet's missions still bugged? That's a good question. I do not know. When's the next Way the Hunter video? Probably this weekend. Got a lot going on between the real-life hunting video in West Virginia. That's going to come out, I'm guessing Saturday. I don't know when else to do it. Because, you know, obviously we're going to be focusing on the Hunter Power Pack here for a couple of days. And then I want to do a Way the Hunter video yet. I don't know when another classic video is going to happen. There's all kinds of stuff. Make Shadow a bridesmaid. The good thing is we're going to get married in Breckenridge. And they're quite dog-friendly. So that will probably be good. Otherwise, you know, again, turns out a lot of family members that you may ask to watch your dog go to said wedding. So I don't know how else we deal with that. She is really well behaved, though. Definitely won't be jumping up on everybody if we do that. Will Red Deer respawn if I have 25 drink stones? They should. Gonna buy one of the Madden games from the PS4 store. You know what I should do? It's actually almost too late now. I bet Madden 23 is pretty cheap. I'll play that for a week while Kyla's gone and get my competitive juices flowing for a while and then uninstall it again. Let's see how much it is. I made myself curious. I don't need to do this. I have stuff to do this week, but... Madden... Oh, it's full price. What the heck? We were supposed to... We had a bit of a thing for like a couple years in a row. Acid and I would do a 1v1 in Madden. Sounds stupid because it's just a competitive match. There is 3v3, but almost all Madden competitive is 1v1. Anyway, we would play against each other. I would use like a terrible team and he would use a good team. We would see what would happen. But I don't know if they didn't do a free weekend this year or what. That's when we always did it because then we didn't have to buy it. I just realized I get the bed to myself for the next 3 nights. After tonight, I get it to myself for like 6 nights, but I'm not excited. Actually, Shadow will lay in Kyla's spot because she becomes a depressed little fluff ball. You guys are crashing the wedding? Nice. Made him think about Madden. Kyla might kill me. I was actually, when I had 22... I don't know when the free weekend was. It must have been like September of 21. Normally, if I did play, it would be like in the morning when Kyla was still asleep or whatever. I usually didn't play it much when she was awake and, you know, sit here and stare at the thing and ignore by accident. What's up, Ender? I'm in a woodshop class, but the watching does not stop. Well, I appreciate it. Just, don't get in trouble. Depressed little fluff ball, you mean you? Yes. Prepare for a weepy stream. No, she's still gonna be here at the time of the stream, so it'll be fine. Patrick Peterson to the Steelers? Wait, is that happening? I don't know how I feel about that. All time around the start of the season? That would seem to make sense. I wonder how we missed it this past year, though, if they did a free weekend. Am I like... No, it's still Moose Drink time. just happened. He was doing good for the Vikings, and their secondary benefited from Joe Hayden. It's looking like they might lose Cam Sutton. I like it. I probably would have preferred Ramsey, but Peterson's going to be way cheaper as far as money goes. Was he a free agent, or was there a trade? Exactly. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate the support. Haven't caught a stream in a while. Have a few bucks. Why, thank you. What is your favorite gun from the new pack? It's got to be the 7mm. I do like the 338. It's quite fun to use. I love the 7mm. From, going way back to 2017, when the game just came out. The 7mm was the gun I used all the time, but I always felt like if we could just have this power and this versatility in a bolt action rifle, that would be like the ultimate gun. And here we go, with camo that I absolutely love. The Medved netting spray looks so good, and it just really fits this gun. I think actually if we take the Hyperion scope, it might look a little bit better. Is it true the 7.62 has more penetration than it says? It appears to. There's the 7mm taking a moose, by the way. So the 7... I don't have the ammo on me because they finally made loadouts. For once, I need to have all that ammo on me. But yeah, I believe the 7.62 and the 243 say they have the same stats, but the 7.62 is so much more powerful. 7mm is old reliable? Exactly. My vote needs an update. I just thought of that in, like, actual context. Anyway, your Call of the Wild needs an update. There shouldn't be, unless you haven't updated it since last time, there shouldn't be any updates. It's interesting that would happen. Unless you want to upgrade your break action 7mm, I don't think I'd even buy this pack. Yet, I mean, I just like variety and stuff. So even if, like, let's say all the weapons were just worse than ones that we already have, I'd still buy it for the sake of variety. But that's a me thing. Like, you guys probably know, I love to change up loadouts and stuff. I love to just keep things interesting and fresh, content-wise. As far as, weapons that maybe make life easier or gonna take things down more quickly or anything, yeah, the 7mm is about the only thing that does a significant difference over something that's already in the game. Jimmy G's traded the Raiders on a 3-year deal. That I think we kind of touched on earlier. I didn't get the 3-year deal part, though. Look at this beautiful camouflage boy. I'm going to have a look at the inline muzzleloader. Because the camo with this Hirschfelden veteran pack, very similar to what I have on my inline. I was curious about that, Soup. I wonder if Big could make a bot that would work with YouTube. I don't know how Discord bots work. They may be way nicer. If G's come to the Raiders, I quit, I'll become a Jets fan? Well, apparently Rodgers is officially a Jet, right? So it might not be the worst time to become a Jets fan. I've been seeing the last 2 or 3 days that it was basically Jets or retire for Rodgers. I could not envision him retiring and basically, playing second fiddle to Brady at the Hall of Fame induction. So, even if he hates it, or even if he just fakes an injury and doesn't play all year, I felt like retiring was not an option for him. Better than being a Raiders fan anyway. Haven't had a chance to take in the division, 7 to 8 years? 2012 or 2014 was that good season for Carr where they won it, and then he got hurt, and they couldn't go anywhere. Exactly, thank you again for the super chat. Did they revert the spook range from shots? Yes, it's back to right about 200 meters. It still works a little bit different than it used to. Now, instead of the animals that are like, say, 202 meters, like just beyond, instead of them just standing there calm as if nothing happened, they go alert, like they hear it, but they won't spook. Did they happen to make zeroing free? If you're asking, like, if you can do it without the perks, no. You still need the rifle perks to 0. It is still there. You can do it earlier, which, that's going to be some... I'll have a play with that, probably right after the stream here. I'll look through, because you used to have, like, focus shot and stuff, and steady hands, which is probably still good. Focus shot's basically irrelevant if you don't use iron sights. So you could maybe save that perk point for, I don't know, quick feet or something. I'll have to look through them. Would you say Call of the Wild is the best hunting game out there? Yeah, I'm with Mistress. I'd say Classic's the best hunting game. Way the Hunter, I think, is maybe the most realistic, but it requires such a time investment that most people just can't get the full experience out of it. If you do have even, like, say 10 hours a week to put into Way the Hunter, it's great. But if you have, like, less than that, I feel like you just can't quite appreciate it for what it is. Classic and Call of the Wild both give you that opportunity. Like, if you've got 45 minutes a week, you can't play games for more than that. You can still succeed in those games. Classic's more realistic than Call of the Wild. That's where it's got that advantage. The randomness of it. Every time you boot up a game in Classic, it's a completely random spawn. Is one of the reasons I like multiplayer in Call of the Wild. It's got that, like, you never know what's over the next hill kind of feeling. Classic does that without the need for multiplayer. Tips on getting a Diamond Cape or Kaylee. I mean, I would just run around Reventuli and shoot everyone you see. They don't seem overly rare. I think if you do that for... You might do it on your first attempt, run around and kill a couple and stumble into one, but...
You could do it on Medbed.
Maybe.
I had like 2 initial spawn Diamond Cape Kaylees.
I did as well, as far as I know. I totally agree. Classic is personally my favorite. Never had Way the Hunter, but I'm planning on getting it. I think if you like Classic, you'll like Way the Hunter too. It's just again, the time investment that's tough for that one. Which, you know, you might think because this is literally my job that I should have plenty of time for Way the Hunter, but until I, you know, spend the time in Call of the Wild and try to do moose grinds and black bear grinds and make my Classic videos, even I sometimes feel like I don't have enough time for Way the Hunter. It does require significant time. Is YouTube your full-time job? Yeah, or content creation, because I stream over on Twitch and stuff as well, but yes. Part-time TV star. Yeah, right. Kyla needs a mic? I mean, we have the ability to do that, but usually she doesn't want to, like, be mic'd up the entire time.
You'll hear me mumble when people are being idiots in the chat. So...
Or when I make terrible jokes.
Well, that would be funny, but...
It's 4:58. Where can we... Maybe this... Oh, man, there's a good spot here. We'll run here super quick. I wanted to go here during Moose Drink Time, and I forgot about it till just now. What's up, Luke? The hunt's been pretty decent. We've actually killed a lot of stuff here on New England. Mostly moose and whitetail, a couple of bears, a couple of small game things. Nothing huge, but then again, you know, it's early access. It's tomorrow when this update comes out, none of the things that we kill will count. They'll effectively be gone forever, so kinda, you know, can't complain if we don't kill things. Dank Eugene, thank you for becoming a Shoosty. I appreciate that. If you're not in the Discord, be sure to join that. Link up your YouTube, get the member role, and all that good stuff. And enjoy the emojis here on YouTube as well. Steelers sign Patrick Peterson. I think they're going to lose Cam Sutton then. But who's going to be their secondary then? It'll be Peterson. Wow. Who are their starting corners? I know this is killing me. They have Levi Wallace now. That ain't bad. Is Akella Witherspoon a corner or a safety? What's up, Mason? Alright, so somewhere over the rainbow here. Oh, we're actually at it. Well, sorry, buddy. Bad day to be a rabbit. I guess you're the last kill. We may have spooked the moose, because normally this is where they're at, but I don't see any zones or anything. 360 no-scope heart shot on a duck. Huh! That was really delayed. I hit a duck in the heart, you just didn't see it. Oh, I got that guy's track, I guess. Are they resetting animals? Not that I know of. Am I late? Unfortunately, we are wrapping up the stream right now. So, basically, the plan for tomorrow is going to be... There's an early video scheduled, something like 7 or 8 a.m. I'll probably try to be up, and if I see the updates out, I'll just drop the video. The video is essentially just hunting with these weapons one more time over on Verhunga. There is a cool kill, but it's kind of mad because early access. But, basically my idea was, hey, if you're updating the game and it's taking forever, you want something to watch, there's that. Then, probably around 10 a.m. we're going to do a stream. I'm just excited to be back on the live game and things are going to count again, whatever we shoot. And we'll go from there, but I think that's pretty well going to do it. Quite the stream we had. We went from all kinds of topics today. Make sure there's not a level 3 in said flock. There is not. So, on that note, that's going to do it for this stream. As always, thank you guys for watching it. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for all the support. And I'll hopefully see you in the stream tomorrow morning. Bye!